Okay, now it's time to start stringing our wires. This is a mistake that most beginners almost always make. Okay, you see how I've got it all tight through the wall, okay? And they string the wires tight enough that you could play Beethoven's Fifth on them, okay? That's not what the inspector wants to see. What the inspector wants to see is nice runs with the wire tacked at regular intervals, and he wants to see it nice and secure, but not tight. Okay. Okay. Now here's the way you put these things in. Just take a screwdriver, flip up your little tabs there. Just take a pair of pliers, twist them off, like so. And next you grab onto a utility knife. Just cut a hole in the back of your jacket here, and you're gonna tape that up later over the wires, but you need to come through the jacket. So just make a hole big enough to get the wire through. Just slip that through into the box. Leave yourself about 6 to 8 inches. Okay. Now what you want to do is you want to take this and you want to. I need some slack here. There we go. Got ourselves a little bit of slack now. What you want to do is you want to spin this around into a circle. Okay. Just give yourself another 6 or 8 inches there, and then you want to tack this. Now you have to tack within 12 inches of the box. Okay. And so what we're going to do, we're going to like so. Okay, now reason for leaving yourself that little loop of wire is for disaster. Okay, it just gives you a little extra protection here. I helped a friend wire his house about 6-7 years back, and well, he didn't want me to leave these little loops in because it was wasting wire, and I told him, well, no, we put the loops in because they're basically a save your ass function here. Basically what we did, we got everything prepped for the electrical inspection, and we had all our loops and our wires, and the electrical inspector came by and cleared everything, and then the drywaller came by and he put the sheets of the drywall in, and when he went and put the drywall in, what he did was he simply slapped the sheet of drywall up and then went in with a zip tool and buzzed out all the boxes. Well, what happened was he went and cut off about 2/3 of the wires. So henceforth the reason for putting an extra 6-8 inches behind the box, now with these wires cut off inside the box because of his carelessness, I can now pull an extra 6 or 8 inches out and still do my wiring properly. Because the alternative, with all my wire ends cut off, we would have had to take all the drywall off the walls again and rewire the entire house, thanks to this guy and his carelessness. So that extra 6 to 8 inches loop there is a little bit of a save your ass protection there. So in case you have somebody that wants to do that on you, like, I mean, the zip tools are fast, they do make the job go quicker, but they are a little dangerous to the wiring. So anyways, that's the box, and then you want to continue on up the framing, and you want to again, you want to be tacking within 12 inches of where it comes through the framing. And as well, you also want to be tacked every 3 feet, okay? Whichever comes first. So you just have your wires secured like that. That's what the inspector wants to see, is to see your wires nice and secured all the way up the wall there, okay? Like I say, he doesn't want to see them tight as a drum. So just give yourself some slack. You can pull through any excess, of course, but you do need to have a certain amount of slack in your wiring. Okay, now that we've ran all our cables, the next thing we need to do is get things ready for the inspection. Now what the inspector wants to see when he comes in to do his inspection is everything needs to be ready up to and completed as far as it can possibly be completed without having the drywall on, okay, or whatever you're going to use for finishing material in the room. So he wants to see your cables looped and out of the way. He wants to see everything nicely stapled. He wants to see everything secured, and he also wants to see all the leads to be opened up and ready for attaching to devices. So you just run your knife down there and split that insulation. Cut it back about 6 or 7 inches. Do the same for the other side. Okay. With those pulled off, just back that up to the cut up to the edge of the box there, so you can just see it, and then tighten down the little screw here to hold down the wires. Okay, now just take these, pull them up. Now the next thing you want to do is loosen off your down screws. Okay. Just take a needle nose plier, just push it in there, just wrap it around. I tend to go clockwise with these things. Again, grab the other wire. Now, if you've got more than one wire, okay, pay attention to this next step. If you only got one wire, it's not a big deal. You just attach it to the ground screw, and you leave the bare copper ground wire just hanging there, because you're going to attach that to your device probably, or tuck it out of the way if it's just a switch, okay? But if you're going to be putting an outlet here, okay, pay attention here. This is what caught me on an inspection once. If it's only a single wire, it's not a big deal, because you're going to be attaching it to the device, or you're just going to be leaving the single wire just hanging there. But if you've got more than one ground wire in there, here's what you need to do. Get yourself a third ground wire. and put it in here. And put these together like so. And just wind that back so that's got 3 or 4 inches worth of twist on it. Like I say, this caught me by surprise on an inspection because I haven't ever read this in the code, but the inspector, I don't know if he was just having a bad day, hadn't had his coffee or what, but I had to redo my grounds because of it. You just clip that off and you put a moret on there. Okay? Any time you've got physical connection between 2 wires, even if they're ground wires inside of a box, you have to have a moret on the end of it. Okay? So now I've twisted that all the way back to the ground screws, and I've got another wire coming out, and I clip that to the length of my leads that are hanging out here. This now becomes the wire that I'm going to hook up to my my plug-in. The rest of this, I just simply take my pliers, I bend that around, and I tuck that at the back of the box, nice and neat. Okay, just push that all the way back in there. I've got my ground hanging out. I take all of my wires and put them into a bend and just tuck them in to the box like so. And that's what the inspector wants to see. As a finishing touch to get ready for your inspection, just take some vapor barrier tape, tape up around your wires there, and seal off all those little air holes where you've cut to allow your wires through the vapor barrier. I tape on both sides. It just ensures that I get a good secure connection. And the other thing is, when you're doing your stapling, make sure, wrong way. There's 4 or 5 different sizes of staples available, so do make sure you get the right one. Do your work neatly, and you shouldn't have any trouble.